Okay, guys, okay. You've piqued my interest. You make valid points. I see the light now. I understand where you're coming from. And I hope you hear the sarcasm in my voice. But you know what? I'm going to entertain it. Let's entertain that this is the last season Lamar Jackson puts on the purple and black. Lamar Jackson's done with the Ravens. He's had enough. He can't rely on these guys to do the right thing, the play calling, the coaching, the players, the receiver, all that. He's done. He's out. Let's entertain that. And I'm not entertaining this from a standpoint of the organization. I'm going to entertain this from the standpoint of Lamar Jackson. Now, I am not going to be one of those guys that says, I know what he's thinking, because I don't know what Lamar Jackson's thinking. But all I'm doing right now is simply putting myself in his shoes. How I would think of a situation. How I would look at it. So this is what we came up with. Now, needless to say, all the NFL teams do not need quarterbacks. They don't have needs for quarterbacks. Bills, Chiefs, the Jaguars, those guys are pretty set at that position, so they're not going to be making any moves towards Jackson. But there are teams that do need quarterbacks. So let's run down the list and how smart it would be for Mr. Jackson to take his business out of Baltimore. Now, as I'm sure Lamar is doing, I'm looking at the entire situation as far as the teams go. I'm looking at the front office. I'm looking at the talent they have on the team. I'm looking at the protection they have on the offensive line. I'm looking at for the scheme and how they treat the players. I'm looking at all that. Now, the Dolphins is a team I've heard linked to Lamar Jackson for a while. But I want y'all to really sit and think about this. Would you go to Miami in that position? You see what they're doing to Tua right now and how they've been handling his protocol with his concussions. And not to mention the offensive line hasn't been that great either. No thank you. The Carolina Panthers. They're in rebuild mode again. This is Lamar's 5th year. Not that deep into his career, but he's getting there, and he's been hurt a couple times. And the offensive line is being worked on as we speak. I don't know about him, but I wouldn't have the patience to be waiting on that. And not to mention the coach carousel. There's just a lot going on in Carolina, so I don't think that would be a good place to go. Heading to Motor City for the Lions. They got a good team building up over there, but, we got to face the Packers twice a year, the Vikings twice a year. Bears aren't really all that good, but they working up. But that's another team that's on the rise. It may be interesting and tempting, but I'm not seeing Lamar doing that or them showing any interest in Lamar. I think they're going to go for a cheaper route, and that's in the draft. The Houston Texans. Haven't heard a lot of good things about them. Haven't seen a lot of good things either. That front office is about as reliable as the thong in a snowstorm, so no thank you. The Vegas Raiders. Sounds like their head coach has a certain kind of quarterback he wants in his system. None of it fits Lamar. Don't see that happening. Next. Seattle is tempting with having a weapon like DK Metcalf on the roster, but I'm not seeing Lamar making that move. They're rebuilding the offensive line again. We got to really focus on that. Lamar's been injured the last couple of years, and it's been on protection, not running around like everybody else said he would be. Washington. No ill will or disrespect to any Washington fan. Heading to New York, we got the Jets. I think it's safe to argue that this team is a quarterback away from being a decent team, but I'm not seeing Lamar going there. They still have issues with the offensive line, and like I said, that's something that needs to be taken into consideration. Not to mention all the flack he gets in Baltimore. Could you imagine if Lamar goes to a New York team? New Orleans Saints. This would give Lamar an opportunity to be on the same team that everybody else was saying that the quarterback, the Hill guy, number 7, yeah, they were saying he was better than Lamar Jackson. How's that been working for you guys so far? And as for the last team on my list, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it will be back in Florida. He does have weapons there, but we also, like I said, have to pay attention to the protection. That interior line is going through it this year, and I don't know if I would take a chance on a center that's a all-pro center coming back from a bad injury the way he did. So I don't know about that one. I'm saying this all to say everybody can speculate and act like they know exactly what Lamar Jackson is thinking and what he should do. They've been doing it all year. But if I'm Lamar, I got to think about it collectively. I've heard him himself say that he wants to be like Tom Brady. Now, I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan, nor will I ever be. But I will say with Tom Brady, he took pay cuts. He wasn't trying to make big money because he understood the nature of the beast. He understands that in football it takes more than one guy to do it. Not saying I don't want Lamar to get paid, but you got to have that in consideration as well. Lamar Jackson is very, very important to the Baltimore Ravens. I see them franchise tagging him this coming season. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but if they can't come to a deal, I know that's what they're going to do. But as far as Lamar just leaving because he's tired of Baltimore, y'all can go ahead and kill that noise. I'm not buying it. And hopefully, if you're watching this video, you won't buy it either.